everyone, and welcome back to Taming Your Flame. Once again, Dr. Stoma, Dr. Gherkin. And today we're here to kind of tell you why you should take our upcoming class. It's 5 lessons that we put together.
Right.
And it's going to be available the beginning of July. It'll be online.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be $49.99.
Wow. Dr. Skoma, you're breaking the bank.
Well, you know, New York prices.
Jeez.
New York prices.
New York.
But in the long run, it's going to save you money. And we're going to hit upon some bullet points here to explain why it will save you money.
See, naturally, you're from New York, you're talking about money.
Wall Street, man.
Hardwired in.
Yeah, it's part of the DNA of living in New York.
Well, saving money is a big deal.
Yes.
Did you know that the United States of America represents 4% of the world's population,
Didn't know that.
and yet expends 50% of all the money spent in the world on medical care is spent in the United States of America. So we're 4% of the population, we spend 50% of the money in the world on medical care.
So we're big time spenders.
We're big time spenders. We're number one in spending. We can spend it up. But the outcomes are not so good. We're second from the bottom. So we spend the most and we get the least.
Well, that's terrible.
That's not good.
No.
They wouldn't agree with that in New York.
No. They drive you out of New York.
They drive you out of New York.
And that, again, is the reason why we're here to tell you and taking the class, it's going to help.
Well, 50% of the bankruptcies
Yeah.
in this country are due to healthcare costs. So think about that. 50% of all the bankruptcies that people file every year
Okay.
are due to healthcare costs. That's 2 million Americans a year filing bankruptcy because they can't afford their medical care.
Wow.
So what's the take home? You don't want to get involved in the medical machinery.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons people don't have insurance is because, frankly, they can't afford it.
Can't afford it. Yeah.
In fact, some research I read indicated that 95% of the people in the world do not have health insurance. 95%. 5% of the people in the world have health insurance. 95% do not.
Wow.
Why not? Well, because they can't afford it.
Can't afford it.
Look at this country. No one can afford it. Starbucks. We all like to have a cup of coffee every now and then. Starbucks spends more money on health care than they do on coffee.
Wow.
Car companies spend more money on health care than they do on steel.
Now we spend about $3 trillion a year
$3 trillion
on healthcare, and it's about $10,000 a person,
right
per year.
per person.
Yeah.
And what are we getting for our money? $1 trillion is a lot of money. What's a trillion? A trillion seconds is 32,000 years.
Wow.
So it kind of puts it in perspective. So we spend $3 trillion a year. In 10 years, that'll be 30 trillion. Where are we going to get $30 trillion?
Yeah.
To spend on healthcare?
Yep.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You buy a new car. Say you buy a $30,000 car. 4,500 of it goes into healthcare costs.
Wow.
So don't think you're getting off scot-free because you aren't paying those bills. Yes, you are, indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you purchase, a percentage of that goes into the healthcare kitty.
Okay.
To pay. And heart disease is still number one.
Yep.
Kills most people.
We both went to school. Heart disease was number one.
Number one, it's still number
Still
one.
is.
And it costs a family of 4 every month $500. So that's $6,000 a year. So families of 4 are spending $500 a month on heart disease, whether they have it or not. But that's the bill.
Right. They're kicking it into the kitty.
They're kicking it into the kitty.
To pay for that condition.
So that's incredible.
Now there are companies out there that are called self-insured organizations.
Correct.
And
Like municipalities,
yeah,
like government, county government,
Yes.
school districts,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera.
so what that means is that the money is taken out from their kitty
Mm-hmm.
to pay for healthcare costs. So they're looking to save money because, you know, if they don't have enough money in the kitty, then
Right,
maybe they have to cut salaries or lay people off.
right. And that was really one of that was an impetus
Mhm.
for us to really look more closely at this chronic disease epidemic and this chronic inflammation, and hence taming your flame. Let's, for instance, look at autoimmune diseases, autoimmune disorders. These are epidemic.
Yep.
I think we could argue they're pandemic.
Mhm.
They're very expensive. The drugs for treating, not curing, but for treating autoimmune diseases are very expensive. They run pharmacy-wise $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year, year in, year out. That's an incredible number, and then throw in your medical costs.
Mhm.
So to these companies, it's very well. It affects their bottom line.
Right.
So the healthier their employees are,
Mhm.
the more money they earn.
Right.
And we know from statistics that approximately 5% of the employee population accounts for about 50% of the money spent. Now, half of that money is just the way the cookie crumbles. You break a leg, you have a complication in a pregnancy, you can't really fight against these types of things, but the other 50%, that is avoidable.
Mhm.
Heart
Yep.
disease.
And the thing about autoimmune diseases, they're going up, and they're more common in women.
Right.
We're seeing females coming down with it.
Right,
Um,
right.
And the numbers keep going, keep going up exponentially.
You're quite correct. I mean, we're at 3 trillion a year now. Well, this is 2020. What's it going to be at 2030?
Mhm.
Take the class, Taming Your Flame. How many medications do you have to be on when you're well?
Right.
Not so many.
No.
How many doctors do you need to see every year when you're well?
Yeah.
Not so many.
Yeah. And
So,
you don't want to feel like crap.
and you
FLC
don't,
disorder.
yeah, the FLC disorder. So take the class, Taming Your Flame. $49.99. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Dr. Skoma.
And it'll be coming online soon, so look for that. And we'll be coming up with some more videos. All right.
Stay tuned.
We'll see ya.